What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush, Let's Talk Jets Radio. Thank you to everybody joining us last night in the live stream. We definitely appreciate it. As always, the chat did not disappoint, and a lot of times it's the best part of the game. Before we get started, just want to give a shout out to Frankie Edgar. You know, I train and teach at Nick Katona MMA and Brick, and Frankie also trains and spars there. And over the years, it's been such an honor to watch him get ready for fight camps and spar and do everything else. And I used to do an MMA podcast, and Frankie was kind enough to come on my show probably 4 or 5 times. And the amount of respect he gave me, where he's like, hey, listen, man, text me, we'll set up a time. And I'm like, well, how long do I get? He's like, as long as you want, man. He was so nice, so generous, offered great insight. And to also watch him interact with the young fighters, he's always helping them out, inspiring them. The hardest working guy in the gym. And it's very inspiring and motivational athlete in the whole facility. Also, he's a class act, man. He always takes the time to, take pictures, sign autographs, giving back to the community very often. Like in the Jersey Shore, he's always giving back and doing really great things. So wishing him nothing but the best of luck, Hall of Fame career, and an absolute legend. And thank him, man, for all things he's done for me in terms of giving me interviews and helping us with content with our magazine. So the favorite topic for Jet fans right now is the quarterback position. We were hoping to see a lot of Mike White last night. He moved the offense, threw a couple sketchy passes, but then he threw a touchdown pass and hurt his hand. And now we're back on the hamster wheel of quarterbacks with all the hot takes all over the place. For me personally, if Mike White is healthy enough to play, he should start on Sunday. Zach Wilson's obviously not ready. He's still hurt, and there's no need to rush him back. If Mike White can't play, I'd rather see the team play Josh Johnson. But we'll go back to Mike White for 1 second. I think he's shown a lot of good things, and I think his confidence and his passion, and I think the team is rallied around that. He's playing really good football. He's all fired up. He's inspiring, making the easy throws, making the fundamental throws, getting everybody involved in the offense, and the team fed off of that. So that showed me enough to say, you know what? If he's healthy, play him on Sunday. Josh Johnson came in and did the same thing. He ran the offense pretty well, made some good throws, made some bad throws. But you're talking about a third-string quarterback here. So you're seeing a lot. So those 2 guys, I think, should be your 1 and 2 next week. I have no desire to see Joe Flacco whatsoever. None. I mean, this team is rallying around Mike White. They're rallying around Josh Johnson. These guys are making plays, and they put their time in with this organization. To sit them on the sideline to bring in Joe Flacco, for what reason? It serves absolutely no purpose to me. It doesn't, because they're already running the offense. They threw for 400 yards and over 300 yards. They're proving they can do it. There's no sense to bring Flacco in here. I don't even care if you cut him at this point. I can honestly give a shit. So the next thing is, what do you do about Zach Wilson? All these hot takes. I think if we learned anything is that Mike LaFleur's offense appears to be quarterback friendly. It can scheme guys open. Maybe it's just obvious that Zach Wilson wasn't ready to play, and that's fine. Like, all these hot takes that Wilson's a bust and get rid of him and trade him and he's a lost cause. No, maybe he's just not ready to play now. And this time away from the game while he's hurt and recovering is going to be good for him. And he can still, groom into a very good quarterback. Like, this is a long-term process for him. Like, our goal for Zach Wilson this year is for him to get better and develop for the years to come. So if that means he only plays 9 games this year, that's fine. Like, it's just let everybody develop together and on their own schedule. Look how many great quarterbacks in the NFL sat out a year, sat out 2 years. They didn't play for a while. So maybe the Jets made a mistake of rushing him in too soon. And unfortunately, it took an injury to figure that out. I don't think the team would have ever benched him, which is an indictment on them. And this is where we're at. So for me personally, it should go Mike White, Josh Johnson, Flacco's out. Once Wilson's ready to play, let him be the number 2 if Mike White's still playing well. This season's lost. We're not going to the playoffs. We're not competing. The goal now is to have a quarterback that can run your offense efficiently so you can maximize the potential of everybody on your team, especially in your locker room. If you put a guy back on the field that's not ready to play or is in over his head or swimming a little bit, the team's going to be like, what are we doing? Like, we know that Mike White can move us. Even Josh Johnson moved us. Why are you bringing him back in if he's struggling again? So you guys think, and then the other thing, the hiring of John Beck has had some interesting feedback on it. And to me, I like it. Like, everybody's calling, they had to hire Zach Wilson's babysitter. Listen, I think we learned with the Sam Darnold experience, bring in every asset possible to help get your quarterback comfortable, fix his mistakes, and develop him. Listen, if instead of coming off saying, you know what, we're going to fire the quarterback coach and bring in John Beck, this seems like just another piece to the puzzle. So I think it's a good thing, and at the end of the day, if it takes 10 coaches to make Zach Wilson better, as long as he's better and becomes a quarterback we all think he can be, that's a great thing. There's no limits here. Like, sometimes there's like this old school thinking like the Jets should only have 3 coaches and this and that. Listen, man, this is a new age of the NFL, and there's so many things happening so fast. If he needs more coaches, great. If he needs less, great. This is the first year. If you can fix all the flaws now and identify your areas of improvement and correct them, as you go forward, you can make more changes. I like the fact that the Jets coaching staff is flexible and open-minded enough to do this and not be stubborn, like, it's our way or the highway, and that's it. So this is a process for everybody. Everybody's learning. LaFleur, Saleh, and Wilson. So I still think Zach Wilson's the future. I still want to see more to Mike White. The more competition, the better. The more good quarterbacks in the room, the better. I think right now the Jets are in an okay situation. If anything, the biggest concern was, what is Mike LaFleur? And we're learning that. He's actually a decent coordinator that you can see things out of. I think the gadget play early on the game last night, I didn't like too much, but whatever. But there's potential here. So we'll see what happens. Never dull moment with the Jets. I like the way they're handling it. I honestly think that Zach Wilson won't be ready for another 2-3 weeks. They're not going to rush him back. If he's only coming back to practice this week, he's not playing on Sunday. And I think the team themselves also want to see what Mike White brings to the table. So have a good day. Enjoy your Sunday of stress-free football, and we'll talk to you next week.